Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. That's the latest and greatest Range Rover Evoque. There's a few of them round here, but not that particular model. And that is primarily designed for women, that car, as I think Victoria Beckham had a hand in designing it. It's alright, but I could never see me driving one of those, because all those which I've seen round here, it's usually a woman behind the wheel. Anyway, enough about that. As you know, the baby bust and the low fertility rate is sending alarm bells all over the Western world, and especially here in Western Europe and United States. I was looking around, I found some more on that topic. First this, as you can see, it's CNN Business, and as you can see, the title, "The Fertility Crisis is Here and It Will Permanently Alter the Economy." This was done on June 15th this year by this woman, Nicole Goodkind. She works at CNN, and it says, falling fertility rates have long been a concern for economists, worried that ageing societies could diminish the labour force, further exacerbating inflation, upend the consumer culture, which is that, upon which mature economies depend. In other words, they only depend on people shopping and buying stuff, and overwhelmed government programs meant to care for aging populations. And it goes on about the falling birth rate, etc. But if you drop down, this bit is interesting. Musk apparently has got 12 children himself. Didn't know that. And this bit, Procter & Gamble and Kimberly-Clark, which together make up more than half of the American diaper market, have seen a baby diaper sales decline over the past few years. And if you drop down a bit further, Nestle have recently said they've shifted the company's priorities from producing infant formula, i.e. baby for babies, to serving the nutritional needs for people over the age of 50. So, women being picky, not wanting to go with guys in their sexual market value level, and not having children, are starting to affect not only the American diaper market, but the nutritional formula market in America for babies. So if there's no babies being born, they won't need diapers and they won't need baby formula. And then we got their article about Macron. He's planned for demographic rearmament, in other words, more French women having French babies. And then you got the Centre of Disease Control in America. The US birth rate fell to a record low, reversing a small uptick during the pandemic. And the Congressional Budget Office is also predicted that deaths will outnumber births just over 15 years from now. 15 years, well, how old will I be? I'm 67, 77. I'll be 82, 80 or 82, so it won't really bother about me. I'll be on my way out. And then he goes down, Social Security payments provide about 90% of income for more than a quarter of older adults in America. And over here I have me three pensions, so you could say that it's similar to here in Britain. But without intervention, the Social Security Trust Fund will be depleted by the mid-2030s. That, remember, 2030 is when 52% of American women are single and childless, meaning that only a portion of retirees expect benefits will be paid out. That goes probably for both sexes. And then we got the AI solution, robotics and droids. Well, that's already starting to come into the production facilities across the Western world. And demographics about shortage of human jobs, yada yada yada. And it says, the final paragraph, in the meantime, he said, it's not just a temporary blip. Companies and governments need to prepare now for what he calls a low fertility future. Now that is CNN. Looking around, I found this on Newsweek. U.S. populated state, most populated state, reveals why California numbers are plummeting. This was done October 20th this year, or what's today, 28th, last week. And it's more or less similar about the low birth rates across America, but these counties in California, they have a population increase, but these counties have a population decrease, less than County 11%. San Francisco, they're getting out of there, 7%. Alpine, San Mateo, 5%, and Del Norte, 4%. And if you drop down, it says, combined with steady out immigration, because Americans are fleeing California through the cost of living, etc., California's birth rate was near record lows. In 2008, fertility rates in California were above the national average, so 2008 it must have been a reasonably decent place to live. But by 2020, they were 7th lowest in the country, 1.52. So between 2008 and 2020, women in California stopped wanting to have babies with guys. You could say that, as California is one of the epicenters of feminism in America, that could have a sort of knock-on effect. And this is the result. The low birth rate and Californians fleeing the state. And then it goes down. 2020, California lost a congressional seat for the first time, and its continued slow growth may lead to more losses in the future. So California could eventually become a Republican state. You tell me. But anyway, that's Newsweek. I also found this interesting little thing. This is LSE. If you click on that, LSE Business Review, it's a financial thing. Anyway, it says education makes women, not men, more likely to have children. Now that's something of a moot point, as she might be educated, but what sort of man does she want to have the children with? The guy who's less educated than her, or more educated than her? The same income as she has, or more income than she has? We all know the answer to that, don't we? It goes on, with fertility rates plunging below replacement levels, understanding the drivers of fertility has become a central aim for both policymakers and academics. So, in other words, they can't understand why women are not having children. And it says, despite drastic divergent family policies in countries like here in Britain and America, compared to the Nordic countries, most Western countries exhibit remarkable similar traits in fertility rates over time. Yes, women are being too picky. And then it goes down. Recent discussion paper, we examine the effects of education on family formation using admissions cut-offs to secondary and tertiary education in Finland, a feminist hotspot. The results show that getting into further education at either education level does not increase the likelihood that men will form families. Of course, that could be a sort of nod towards MGTOW. In contrast, women admitted to further education are more likely to both live with a partner and have children. But what's the income of the man and the woman and living? And does the man want to live with a woman these days, knowing that she could take half his stuff if she gets bored? And then we get more yada yada about it. And it says, our casual show increases education attainment, raises the probability that women form families by their late 30s. No. Women hope to form families by their late 30s. That's why they go on TikTok. Women admitted to secondary education of over 5% points more likely to have a child by 38. When she's post-wall then, she's well and truly hit the wall. While these estimates are a little noisy, we obtained similar but precise estimates at the margin of tertiary education. Women admitted to universities and applied science are about 5 percentage points more likely to have a child by the age of 38, when she'd long passed her fertility rate after she'd rode the cock carousel in her 20s and early 30s. Then she decides she wants a decent man, because Chad doesn't want her anymore. And then it goes, in contrast for men, our analysis suggests that large mean differences in family formation by educational attainment are driven by the types of men who pursue education rather than education itself. This may be because men who tend to pursue education have stronger preferences for forming families or possessing other qualities which make them attractive partners. Yeah, money and status. Conversely, men with low levels of education may face obstacles to family formation that education is incapable of overcoming, i.e., he doesn't earn much money, so the women don't want him. And then we go, yada yada, and these are the authors. A woman, he looks like a simp, another woman, and another woman. Anyway, we've got education women, they want children, but men, they've decided to guard their own wallet, so women are going to have to start buying things for themselves using their own money, and they don't like that. Because I found this. This is the street. The popular clothing retailer shuts down all its stores unexpectedly. This is in America. The once thriving chain surprised its employees and customers with a shutdown decision. It's... Where is it? Got the name. Activewear. I've never heard of that brand. You lot, being most of you who are Americans, will have. Clothing has always been very competitive side, but activewear has become especially brutal. Numerous players want to copy the success of Lululemon, Lulu for short. But then they can't do it, so they're shutting shop. I'm not going to put all these links below, but on the morning of March 16th, Outdoor Voices website remained operational, but no brick and mortar stores closed, so Outdoor Voices must have closed as well. And, hey up, what's this? Didn't notice that. Popular food and grocery brand files closed for Chapter 11 in America. Does it say what it is? Hostess. Never heard of the company. You being Americans will have done that. We'll know that. Anyway, that's another probably a women's shop that's closed down. The high-end clothing retail latest to go bankrupt, closing all US stores. This is a woman's shop, as you can see. The Body Shop and Express, the Ted Baker British chain stores, closing all its US American operations after filing for bankruptcy, closing all 34 stores as well as Canadian locations. Women are going to have to buy stuff with their own money, and they can't afford it. No guys are going with them, so she can't use his money. They have to use their own. The bankruptcy comes after the company failed to pay suppliers following a drop in sales. Whoops. That came after an upgrade of their technology that occurred during the busiest sales season, causing debilitating delay. There are also website issues and overall poor sales, leaving them owing up more than $18 million. That's also women are not wanting to buy stuff because they're going to have to pay for it themselves. As I keep saying, it's the MGTOW effect that's done that. For going on, retail sales flat, but fashion stores take a hit. This is another woman. She's a senior contributor of the retail industry and is based in New York. This was done May 16th this year. Retail sales remain unchanged in early compared to March. However, some categories are seeing downtrending for the first few months in 2024, as consumer confidence weakens and prices in some key non-discretionary categories arise. Spending may retract over the next few months, especially in fashion categories. Women buy more fashion than men, as that picture shows. And then we've got retail segments, ups and down, consumers feeling cautious, macroeconomic factors influence spending, and then 6 more months of uncertainty. Retailers are better managing inventory levels in anticipation of softer consumer spending. Major American companies will report out earnings for the first part of 2024 in May, which has come and gone, which typically includes consumer spending outlook based on April results. The fashion categories may see steeper signs of decline in the coming months. Women are not spending money on clothes and fashion accessories because they can't find a guy and they don't want to use their own money. Speaking of spending, I've finished it off. I found this financial buzz: male versus female spending statistics. Who spends more? While global consumer spending is relatively evenly distributed between men and women, there are places where men spend more than women and vice versa, naturally. And the key takeaways: women drive the bulk of purchases and account for up to 80% of consumer spending. But then you have this, and this, and this being affected by women not spending that kind of money. 78.2% of women are primary grocery shoppers for their families. Of course, if she's a wife and mother, she does that. The husband, the man, is out earning money to keep the family going. Women tend to spend more on personal care products, makeup, healthcare, housing, that could be interior furnishings and that, and transportation, while men spend more on new vehicles, tobacco and alcohol. Well, I don't smoke or drink, so you can count me out on that. And then they said on average men spend $3,434 a month. I don't. While women spend $3,237 a month. Globally, women spend $35 trillion on consumer goods. Now, if guys go MGTOW, there'll be $35 trillion globally that won't be being spent by women. And then it says, according to the Capital One Shopping Research, women spend, that's what it just said above that. Now, American women tend to shop more than men. You being American, you will have noticed that in your shopping areas, with 39.4% of women shopping on any given day compared to 33.7% of men. Of course, the guys at work earning money. And then women tend to shop more and for longer, averaging 58 minutes per shopping trip to a man's 45 minutes. Women like to wander around the shop. I just like to go in, get it, and out. Women are more often shopping for the entire household if she is married. 89% of women are responsible for their household's shopping, while only 41% claim that responsibility. That 41% could be MGTOWs, men guarding their own wallet. And then we got the highlights: despite spending more on household expenses, women earn less than men. We've got the the myth of the wage gap. And then it goes about it. Men are statistically as likely to splurge as women. I could agree with that. I've splurged on ski gear these last few months, so that's got an element of truth. Men across all generations like to spend the most on a splurge, like cover the board. Women are more likely to be primary food shoppers. If she's a mother of married with children, women are more likely to shop in person and online, naturally. Women are responsible for most purchasing decisions. Single men spend half of what single women spend on apparel and services. That's true. Guys don't need half the stuff that women need. Men spend more on transport. So-so. And women spend more on health care. I don't know about that because we have the National Health Service. Men spend more on entertainment, but women spend more on pets. Could that be cats? Single men spend more on leisure equipment. I can agree with that. With the setup I've got, women spend over £600 more annually on housing than men. That could be furnishing. Women's housing, including house or dwelling itself, mortgage interest rates, property taxes, maintenance, insurance and upkeep. Could be furnishing, could be not, I don't know. Women have a higher time of financial burden than men, only when they reject men and they're all on their own, strong independent women. And then how to save money, yada yada yada. I'll naturally put all these links below, but the fertility crisis is affecting the economy. California is emptying of people, but they think education makes women, not men, more likely to have children. But if she's got a university degree, she's not going to go with a blue-collar man. And the guys who are educated to that level, they have options. And if she's 38, as it says, where is it? There, having a child by 38, he's not going to go with a 38-year-old woman with a degree when he can get with a 28-year-old or a 22-year-old who's in the prime and the more fertile years. But women using their own money, they not wanting to spend it because they can't get a guy to spend his money, so popular clothing retailers are shutting down and high-end clothing retailers are going bankrupt, and retailers are flat at the bottom, take a hit, and we could see $35 trillion staying in men's pockets and not women's. So I think I'm on the 15-minute mark now, probably a bit past it, so I'll leave it at that. I try and find someone else on a different topic next week, so up to now you can see that MGTOW effect is affecting the global economy, and it's all because women are affected with the feminist mind virus, and they're getting too picky, and this is the results. Anyway, you know the routine, people. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe, etc. It's completely up to you. So until next Monday, that's it for this one. Bye-bye.